All right. Well, good afternoon, Amber. Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon.
Yes, thanks for having me, as always.
Here to talk about what's going on in real estate. We won't take too long, so we'll just dive right in. It's interesting, and Amber and I was just talking to Amber about this, but there's so much going on, the mergers, acquisitions, all kinds of movement within real estate, and they're spending like giant dollars. Gigantic investments are going into PropTech, and it's been happening for the last bunch of years. It's just continuously speeding up. There's been the announcements a couple weeks ago. Zillow acquired ShowingTime for $500 million. Last week, Redfin acquired RentPath for $608 million. I mean, these are big dollars, and we'll probably just continue to see more as we see these companies looking to build the mythical end-to-end platform or end-to-end transaction. And I know there's different definitions for it, so the way people are looking at it and looking to really develop that. But how can they go to one company or one entity and buy a house with a click? I don't know. Like there's process for that. So anyhow, some of the steps in this, what's happening to kind of move or push that along. Zillow last week actually announced that in 20 markets, including Phoenix, that the Zestimate will be actually their iBuyer offer. It's going to be a live offer. As long as the property qualifies, and in order to qualify, the property must fit Zillow's buy box. And the buy box is basically an average size house around the median sales price that doesn't need a lot of work. So I know I started messing with it just to kind of see, and their limit is 3,500 square feet for Phoenix. Now, every market is going to be slightly different on what is going to be kind of the average in that market. And so, it's definitely good to try to grasp what that means, because this is going to impact the perception for the consumer. And this is a really big sticking point. Is I want to talk about this. This is going to be more important in the psychology of it than it necessarily is in the reality of it, because we know that those buy boxes are pretty tight. Not all properties fit into it, but a lot of homeowners are going to assume that they do. So they're going to look at it no longer as, a rough estimate, but really like, that's what I could get a check for. So when you're going on these listing appointments and talking to sellers, they've looked at these numbers. So be sure to always look at what the Zestimate is saying. Now, I have heard that the Zestimate has dropped quite a bit. And that's one way that, of course, when you're looking at having a floor of what a company will write a check for, that's, especially in this market, we're having so many things selling over asking, selling even over appraisal, stuff like that. So it's just something to keep in mind, have the conversation. Today, I don't think it's going to be impacting, sellers a lot, because as they're listing their houses, they're going to be getting over that Zestimate, but we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying prices are going down. That is not at all what I'm saying, but I do want to say that is something to just be very mindful of, because I do believe that this will impact the market, and just how or impact consumers and how they're kind of, identifying with what that Zestimate says. Now, as far as what's going on in our market, inventory remains low, like crazy low. Demand has actually been elevated, where we have been, having more demand than normal, but it has been dropping, and it's actually dropping faster than our inventory is dropping. And what that means is we're still elevated. We're still about 19% above normal for demand, while we're 76% below normal on inventory. So, as those numbers come together, maybe we'll see kind of a slowing of the crazy appreciation, but we're not there. We're still seeing these just tremendous price increases because there's just no inventory. So we kind of expect this is going to continue for a while. Hopefully these builders keep building. The last thing I do want to just touch on really quick is I kind of think it's pretty cool, is a company called Notarize. They do online notarizations. They're offering free notarizations to update old documents. Now, it started in Washington. It's available soon for Arizona and other states on the West Coast, or kind of on the Western region. And what they're doing is, for old documents, we'll see it a lot in like CC&Rs, where it'll have racist language in there. And even though it's illegal and it's not enforced it's still, the language is there and it needs to be notarized to get those documents updated. Notarize is updating those documents for free and offering free notarizations. And I think it's really a cool way that they can make an impact and get some of this racist language out of the CC&Rs and just keep it a lot, just it's healthier for everybody to not have that language in there. And I'll post a link on there just if you want to learn more about it, because I think it's a really cool thing. Amber, no, we're on a tight timelines, but wanted to, what are you seeing out there?
We are seeing interest rates rising. So interest rates went up faster than they came down, in the start of COVID over the last week or so. So we went up about 0.5% in interest rates. And it's just because our market is starting to normalize a little bit. All of the stock markets are up today. They're feeling very positive on the economy, especially the Johnson & Johnson vaccine getting approved over the weekend. And there's talk of us reaching herd immunity maybe next month. It's very questionable because it's like, how many people, really have been infected and the vaccines and everything. So I've heard anywhere from as early as next month to midsummer time that we'll have herd immunity, and then things will start to really reopen everywhere. And we should start to see the unemployment numbers come down. And so that is coming soon, is what a lot of people believe. And the Fed has been very clear in saying that they will taper their purchase of mortgage-backed securities as we start to reach, a full economy, which is probably 4 to 5% unemployment. So the markets are nervous. They don't really know what the future holds. So they're selling off mortgage bonds and interest rates are up, and lots of question marks on if they're going to come back down or if they're just going to keep rising or if we're going to move kind of sideways. So big thing is to think about any of the buyers that you have out in your car right now that with a pre-approval letter is making sure that they are still qualified at the level that you've been told, because interest rates up 0.5% can make a significant impact on someone's ability to qualify. So not a bad idea to check in with the lender and just make sure, hey, I've got this client in my car. We're making offers. We're active. Is this still valid? We're going through all of our clients as best as we can to help make sure we're getting everything updated with the new interest rates. But it's definitely a changing market. Buying sooner than later to help avoid rising interest rates is a great idea. We'll keep our pulse on it and see what happens in regards to that. But that's why rates are going up. We're just starting that normalization process, remembering that in 2020, interest rates were only as low as they were because the market was being manipulated. Now we're trying to re-enter back into more of a free market. And that always was, under the impression that interest rates would go up. So that's sort of what we're experiencing there. And then we're still experiencing, obviously, a very hard time getting buyers' offers accepted. So we're just helping coach our clients in the consultations on what we think they can do from a financing aspect to get their offers accepted. Help kind of trying to be an extension of the realtor and explaining the market and offering overappraised value and what options they have and what they can expect. I think setting expectations is the most important thing we can do in a market like this. So just making sure that you're on the same page and you're all communicating the same way to the client of what they can expect. And if they're expecting to write 10 or 11 offers, to win the property and going in over, they're going to have a lot better chance of winning. So
definitely. I totally agree with that, and setting that up so they don't feel like a failure when they don't get the first offer they write.
Yes, they're prepared going into it. It's a battle right now, but you have the right team around you to win. And as long as they're in it, you're in it, and we're going to fight hard for it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Amber, as always, thank you so much for your awesome just input and, explanation to help us understand what we're up against, because it's it's tough out there, but it's still worth it.
Yes, for sure. Agreed.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to talking to you again next week then.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Amber.
All right. Bye.
Bye.